of Examsnet. Welcome to the question series of Examsnet. I hope this series of detailed explanation is helping you a lot. Let's start this session. Here there is a question. Let a function such that a relation defined by the function f of x is equals to 5x power 4 plus 2. Then it is given here that f of x is equal to 5x power 4 plus 2. So its derivative, which is f dash x, will be equals to 20x cube. And here the y-intercept will be f of 0 is equal to 2, which is the y-intercept here. Therefore, we can say that it is neither 1, 1 nor on 2. So among all the given option number D is the correct option, which says f is neither 1, 1 nor on 2. Next question also comes from relation and functions. And the question is, let f be a function defined by f of xy is equal to f of x upon y for all positive real numbers x and y. If f of 30 is equal to 20, then f of 40 is equal to. We have to find the required value for f of 40. On putting x is equal to 1 here, this becomes f of y is equal to f of 1 upon y. Let this be equation number 1. Now, on putting y is equal to 30 here, it becomes f of 30 is equals to f of 1 upon 30. Now, from here we can calculate the value for f of 1. So, f of 1 will be equals to 30 into 20. Therefore, f of 1 will be equals to 600. Because we know that f of 30 is given in the question, which is equal to 20. So f of 1 will be equal to 30 into 20, which is equal to 600. Now, on putting x is equal to 40 in equation number 1, we get f of 40 is equal to f of 1 upon 40. We have the value for f of 1. So substituting it, f of 40 will be equals to 600 upon 40, which will be equals to 15. Therefore, we can say that the correct value for f of 40 is 15. Therefore, option number B is the correct option for this question. Next question is a different question from the previous ones. It is a question that comes from matrix. Here, matrix A is equal to 3, 4, 5 and 6. And matrix B is equal to x, 0, 0 and y. Such that x and y belongs to n, then we have to find that which of the following statements is correct. So first, let us calculate AB. So AB will be equal to matrix A into matrix B, which will be written as this. Now, on multiplying, it will be equals to 3x, 4y, 5x and 6y. Now, let us calculate BA. BA will be equals to x, 0, 0, y into 3, 4, 5 and 6, which will be equals to 3x, 4x, 5y and 6y. Here you can see that AB can be equal to BA if matrix B has many number of different values. So we can say that there can be many number of matrix B for AB is equal to BA, because only a slight change is there in the variables. So if we change the number of matrix B, or we have so many number of matrix B, then AB can be equal to BA. So therefore, we can say that for this two given matrix, there exists infinite number of matrix B such that AB is equal to BA. Hence, option number D is the correct option for this question, which says there exists infinite number of matrices B such that AB is equal to BA. Next question is also from the matrix, and it is a very, very important question. This kind of question always appears in the exam. If A and B are symmetric matrix of same order such that AB plus BA is equal to X. So it is given that AB plus BA is equal to X and AB minus BA is equal to Y. We have to calculate X into Y whole transpose. We know that it is given that A and B are symmetric matrix. So if they are symmetric, it means that A is equal to A transpose and B is equal to B transpose. So let us find X transpose. X transpose will be equals to AB transpose plus BA transpose. Now we know that X plus Y whole transpose is equal to X transpose plus Y transpose, and X into Y whole transpose is equal to Y transpose into X transpose. So applying this formula here, X transpose will be equals to B transpose into A transpose plus A transpose into B transpose. So it can be written as X transpose is equal to, we know that B transpose is equal to B because B is a symmetric matrix. So it will be B. A transpose will be A plus A and B. So we can say that BA plus AB is equal to X. So X transpose is equal to X only. Similarly, we have Y is equal to AB minus BA. Now, finding the transpose for Y, it will be Y transpose is equal to AB minus BA whole transpose. Again, the formula will be same, which will be X minus Y whole transpose is equal to X transpose minus Y transpose. So Y transpose will be equal to AB transpose minus BA transpose. So Y transpose will be equals to B transpose A transpose minus A transpose and B transpose. The formula for the product is also the same, which is X into Y whole transpose is Y transpose into X transpose, and we have used it here. So Y transpose will be BA minus AB. We know that A is equal to A transpose and B is equal to B transpose. So it can be written as Y transpose is equal to minus of AB minus BA on taking minus common. So it will be equals to Y transpose is equal to minus of Y, because we know that AB minus BA is equal to Y. Now we have both the values for X transpose and Y transpose, and we have to calculate the value for X into Y whole transpose. We know that it is equal to Y transpose into X transpose. Y transpose is minus Y and X transpose is equal to X. Therefore, we can say that XY whole transpose is equal to minus Y into X. Therefore, the correct option here is option number C. I hope that this question is clear to you. Next question also comes from matrix. If the ranks of the matrix A is equals to 1, 0, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 0, minus 1, and B is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, 6, and minus 8 are R1 and R2 respectively, then R1 minus R2 is. It is given that R1 and R2 are the ranks of the given matrices. We know that if A is a matrix of order n cross n and determinant of A is not equals to 0, then rank is always equals to n. And if determinant of A is equals to 0, then rank will be less than n. So for A, the determinant of A will be equals to 1 into 1, 2, 0 minus 1, minus 0 into 2, 1, 2n minus 1, plus 1 into 2, 1, 1 and 0. So determinant of A will be equals to minus 1, minus 0, plus minus 1, which will be equals to minus 2. Therefore, here the rank, which is R1, will be equals to 4. I hope this is clear to you. I have already explained the concept here. Now, for matrix B, since it is a 2 cross 4 matrix, therefore its rank will be R2, which is equal to 3. Now we have R1 and R2. We have to calculate the value for R1 minus R2. So R1 minus R2 will be 4 minus 3, which gives 1. Therefore, we can say that the value for R1 minus R2 is 1. Hence, option number B is the correct option for this question. Next question is, if A is equal to 1, 1, 3, 1, 7, 9, 2, 3, 7, then transpose of A square minus A is equal to. Again, you can see that question is from matrix, which is a very, very important concept. So now let us first calculate A square. A square will be A into A, which will be 1, 1, 2, 173, 397 into 112, 173 and 397, which will be equals to 1 plus 1 plus 6, 1 plus 7 plus 9, 3 plus 9 plus 21, 1 plus 7 plus 18, 1 plus 49 plus 27, 3 plus 63 plus 63, 2 plus 3 plus 14, 2 plus 21 plus 21, 6 plus 27 plus 49. On adding all this value, it will be 8, 17, 33, 26, 77, 129 and 19, 44, 82. This is the value for A square. Now let us calculate A square minus A. So A square minus A will be 8, 26, 19, 17, 77, 44, 33, 129 and 82 minus A. A is 112, 173, 397. So it will be equals to 7, 25, 17, 16, 70 and 41, 30, 120 and 75. Now, let us calculate the determinant of A square minus A. So, its determinant will be 7 into 70, 41, 120, 75 minus 16 into 25, 17, 120, 75 plus 30 into 25, 17, 70 and 41. Now we have to just calculate this expansion. So on calculating it, it will be equals to 7 into 5250 minus 4920 minus 16 into 1875 minus 2040 plus 30 into 1025 minus 1190, which will be 7 into 330 minus 16 into minus 165 plus 30 into minus of 165. So it will be 4950 minus 4950, which is equals to 0. So therefore, we can say that the determinant of A square minus A is equal to 0. Therefore, the transpose of A square minus A will be equals to 152. So we can say that the correct option will be 152 because it is also divisible by 2 and it is a positive number. So we can say that option number C is the correct option. Here we have the determinant of a square minus a is equal to 0. Hence, the transpose of a square minus a will be an even number which is positive. So it will be 152. I hope it is clear to you. Next question is, if x plus iy is equal to 1 plus I upon 1 minus I whole cube minus 1 minus I upon 1 plus I whole cube, then the true statement among the following is. This is a question that comes from complex numbers, and we know that I is equal to under root of minus 1. So on rationalizing these terms, it will be 1 plus I upon 1 minus I into 1 plus I upon 1 plus I whole cube minus 1 minus I upon 1 plus I into 1 minus I upon 1 minus I whole cube, which will be equals to I cube minus I cube, which is equals to minus I, which will be equals to minus of 2I. Now, the left hand side is x plus iy. So here, this will be equals to minus 2i. Here, this is x and this is iy. There are two separate terms. So, if x is equals to 0, y will be equals to minus 2. So, we can say that x and y are 0 and minus 2. And it is very clear that x is greater than y here. So we can say that the true statement among the following is B, which is x is greater than y. Next question is the number of complex numbers z satisfying z bar is equal to iz square is. We know that conjugate of z is equals to x minus iy, and here it is given that z bar is equal to iz square. So z square will be equals to x square plus I square y square plus 2i into xy. So z square will be equals to x square minus y square plus I 2xy. Therefore, iz square will be equal to I x square minus y square plus z square and 2xy. Therefore, we can say that conjugate of z is equal to iz square, which is equal to minus 2xy plus I into x square minus y square. Now, we know that x minus iy will be equal to minus 2xy plus I into x square minus of y square. I hope this concept is clear to you since it is from the complex number. So from here we can say that x is equal to minus 2xy and y will be equals to x square minus y square on comparing it. So x plus 2xy will be equal to 0. Therefore, taking x common, it will be 1 plus 2y is equal to 0. So if x is equal to 0, y will be equals to minus 1 by 2. Similarly, if x is equal to 0, y will be 0. And if x is equal to 0, again, y will be equals to 1. Here, it becomes minus y is equal to 0 minus y square. So y will be equals to y square. Y square minus y is equal to 0. Taking y common, it will be y minus 1 is equal to 0. So y will be equal to 0 and y will be equal to plus 1. Therefore, since x is equal to 0 and y is equal to minus 1 by 2, if we put both these values in the equation, it becomes 1 by 2 is equal to x square minus 1 by 4. See, the equation is minus of y square is equal to x square minus y square. So minus minus will be plus. So from here, x square will be equals to 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4, which is equals to 2 plus 1 by 4, which is equal to 3 by 4. So we can say that there are values for x, and x will be equals to plus minus under root of 3 by 2. Since x square is equal to 3 by 4, so x will be equals to plus minus root 3 by 2. So if x is equals to plus root 3 by 2, then y will be equals to minus 1 by 2. Similarly, if x is equal to minus root 3 by 2, y will be also minus 1 by 2. We also know that from complex number, z is equals to 0. So z will be equals to root 3 by 2 plus I into minus 1 by 2, which gives root 3 by 2 minus I by 2. If z is equal to I, then z will be equals to root 3 by 2 minus I by 2. Therefore, we can say that total there are 4 values. So we can say that the number of complex numbers z which satisfy the given expression is 4. Hence, the correct option here is option number B, it says 4. I hope this question is clear to you. Moving on to the next question. The number of distinct solution of the equation x power 11 minus x power 7 plus x power 4 minus 1 is equal to 0 is. On taking x power 7 from first two terms, it can be x power 4 minus 1. Taking plus 1 common, it will be x power 4 minus 1 is equal to 0. So the factors will be x power 7 plus 1 and x power 4 minus 1 is equal to 0. So if x power 7 plus 1 is equal to 0 and x power 4 minus 1 is equal to 0, so x power 7 will be equal to minus 1. Or we can say that x power 7 will be equals to cos pi plus I sin pi, because we know that cis alpha is equal to cos alpha plus I sin alpha. Here alpha will be equal to pi. Now it can be written as x power 7 is equals to cis 2n plus 1 into pi. We know that cos 3 pi can be written as cos 2 pi plus pi, which will be equal to cos pi, which will be equal to minus 1, and minus 1 plus I into 0 will give n is equal to 0, then pi. If n is equal to 1, then it will be 3 pi. Therefore, x will be equal to cis 2n plus 1 pi whole power 1 by 7. So x will be equals to cis 2n plus 1 into pi by 7. And we also know that from here n is equal to 1 and 3 pi, n will be equals to 1 upon 7. Therefore, the power is 1 upon 7. And we know that cis theta power n is equal to cis n theta. So by applying this formula, we get this desired step. So x will be equals to cis 2n plus 1 into pi by 7. Now, this whole term comes from x power 7 plus 1 is equal to 0. So we can say that cis will be 0 here. And another factor was x power 4 minus 1 is equal to 0. So we can say that x power 4 is equal to plus 1. I hope it is clear to you. And here n will be equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So x power 4 will be equal to cos 0 plus I sin 0, which is equal to 1 plus I 0, which is equal to 1. So x power 4 will be equals to cis of 2n pi or 2 pi n. Therefore, x will be equal to cis 2n pi power 1 by 4. So x will be equal to cis 2n pi upon 4. So x will be equal to cis n pi upon 2. And here n will be equal to 0, 1, 2 and 3. You can see that in the first factor, which is x power 7 plus 1 is equal to 0, the total number of numbers here are 10, which is from 0 to 9. So the distinct solution of this equation will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Hence, we can say that the number of distinct solution is 10. So option number C is the correct option for this question. Next question is also from the complex number, and the question is z is equal to cos theta plus I sin theta. So it can be written as sin pi by 2 minus theta plus I cos pi by 2 minus theta, which will be equal to e power minus pi by 2 minus theta into I, which will be equal to e power theta minus pi by 2 into I. Now we have to calculate z power r. So it will be equal to e power theta minus pi by 2 into I whole power r, because this is the value of z. So it can be written as e power r theta minus r pi upon 2 into I. Similarly, z bar whole power r will be equal to z power r bar, which is equal to e power minus of r theta minus r pi by 2 into I. See, we have calculated both the separate values separately. So now on adding both this value, which is z power r plus z bar power r will be equal to e r theta minus r pi by 2 into I plus e power minus r theta minus r pi by 2 into I, which will be equals to 2 cos r theta minus r pi by 2. Here we cannot include r pi by 2, because if we include r pi by 2, the question will not be consisting of any real part. So we can say that this can be equal to 2 cos r theta. Therefore, we can say that the correct option for this question is 2 cos r theta, which is option number B here. Next question is a little bit different question. If f of x is equal to ax square plus bx plus c satisfies f of 1 plus 2f of 2 is equal to 0, and 2f of 1 plus f of 2 is equal to 0, then 3a plus b is equal to. So consider this as equation 1 and consider this as equation number 2. So let us first calculate the values for f of 1. F of 1 will be a into 1 square plus b into 1 plus c. So f of 1 will be equal to a plus b plus c. So f of 2 will be equals to a into 2 square plus b into 2 plus c. So f of 2 will be equals to 4a plus 2b plus c. Now putting the values in first equation is f of 1 plus 2f of 2 is equal to 0. So f of 1 is a plus b plus c plus 2 into f of 2. F of 2 is 4a plus 2b plus c is equal to 0. So we get a plus b plus c plus 8a plus 4b plus 2c is equal to 0. On adding this, it will be 9a plus 5b plus 3c is equal to 0. Let this be equation number 3. Similarly, putting the values in equation 2, we get 2 into f1. f1 is a plus b plus c plus f of 2. f of 2 is 4a plus 2b plus c is equal to 0. So it will be 2a plus 2b plus 2c plus 4a plus 2b plus c is equal to 0. On adding this value, it will be 6a plus 4b plus 3c is equal to 0. Let this be equation number 4th. Now, on subtracting both this equation, we have 9a plus 5b plus 3c is equal to 0. 6a plus 4b plus 3c is equal to 0. This will be minus minus and minus. 3c and 3c will be cancelled. 9a minus 6a is 3a. 5b minus 4b is b. So 3a plus b will be equal to 0. And in the question we were asked to find the value for 3a plus b. Hence we can say that for this particular function 3a plus b is equal to 0. Hence option number C is the correct option, which says 0. Next question is a very interesting question, and this kind of question always appears in the exam, or question related to this always comes in the exam. So understand it very carefully. The question is the largest interval containing x for which x power 12 minus x power 9 plus x power 4 minus x plus 1 is greater than 0 is. So let f of x be the given function. Now it can be also written as x power 9 x cube minus 1. When we take x power 9 common from first two terms, then the remaining terms will be x cube minus 1. Similarly, plus taking x common, it will be again x cube minus 1 and plus 1. So it can be written as x power 9 plus x into x cube minus 1 plus 1 is greater than 0. Or we can say that where x is greater than or equal to 1. So let this be equation number 1. Again, f of x is equal to x power 12 minus x power 9 plus x power 4 minus x plus 1. So it can be written as x power 4, x power 8 plus 1 minus, taking x common, it will be x power 8 plus 1 plus 1, which will be equal to x into x power 8 plus 1 into x cube minus 1 plus 1 is greater than 0, where x will be less than or equal to 0. Let this be equation number 2. Now, the next thing will be f of x is equal to x power 12 minus x power 9 plus x power 4 minus x plus 1. It can be also written as x power 12 plus x power 4 and then 1 minus x power 5 plus 1 minus x will be greater than 0. And this condition is for x belonging to 0 and 1. So let this be equation number 3. From combining equation 1, 2 and 3, we get f of x is greater than 0 for x belongs to minus infinity to infinity. It means that if x belongs to minus infinity and infinity, then f of x is greater than 0. So therefore, we can say that x lies between minus infinity to plus infinity. Therefore, option number C is the correct option for this question. I hope this question is clear to you. Next question is, let an minus 1 up to a1 and a0 belongs to C and function f of x is equal to an x power n plus an minus 1 x power n minus 1 plus so on up to a1x plus a0 is a polynomial, and if the polynomial f of x is monic, then we know that in a monic polynomial, it is a single variable polynomial in which the leading coefficient, or you can say that the non-zero coefficient of highest degree is equal to 1. So we can say that f of x will be 0 when the non-zero coefficient of highest degree will be equal to 1. It means that when an will be equals to 1. And we also know that zero polynomial is a polynomial whose degree is undefined. But here the degree is defined. It is a monic polynomial. So f of x will be 0 when an will be equals to 1, where x is any number. So we can say that the correct option for this question is option number B, which is an is equals to 1. Next question is the number of solutions of the equations x plus y plus z is equals to 12, x square plus y square plus z square is equal to 50, and x cube plus y cube plus z cube is equal to 216 is. 3 equations are given here. We have to find the number of solutions for the given equations. So from the first 2 equations, we get xy plus yz plus zx is equal to 1 by 2 into x plus y plus z square minus x square plus y square plus z square, which will be equal to 1 by 2 into 144 minus 50, which gives 47. Also, x cube plus y cube minus 3xyz is equal to x plus y plus z into x square plus y square plus z square minus yz minus zx minus xy. We know that this is an identity of the polynomials, and we can also say that 216 minus 3xyz will be equals to 12 into 50 minus 47, or we can say that xyz will be equals to 60. Hence, the given equation reduces to x plus y plus z will be equals to 0, yz plus zx plus xy is equal to 47, and xyz is equal to 60. Now, solution set in this cases will be, we have to write the number of solutions here. So solution sets for this cases will be 3, 4, 5, 3, 5, 4, 4, 3, 5, 4, 5, 3, 5, 3, 4, and 5, 4, 3. Now, here S1 will be equals to 12, and also it is given that x square plus y square plus z square is equal to 50. So it gives x plus y plus z whole square minus 2 into xy plus yz plus zx is equal to 50, or we can say that 144 minus 2 into s2 will be equal to 50. Therefore, 2s2 will be equals to 94, or s2 will be equal to 47. Again, we have x cube plus y cube plus z cube is equal to 216. But we know that x cube plus y cube plus z cube minus 3xyz is equal to x plus y plus z into x square plus y square plus z square minus summation of xy, or we can say that 216 minus 3s3 will be equal to 12 into 50 minus 47, which is equal to 36, or 216 minus 36 will be equal to 3s3. Therefore, s3 will be equal to 60. And we know that S1 is equal to 12, S2 is equal to 47, and S3 is equal to 60. Now we have all these 3 values. Therefore, we can say that X, Y, and Z are the roots of this cubic term, which becomes, see, we have to replace X by T. So, X, Y, and Z are the roots of the cubic. In T will be T cube minus S1T square plus S2T minus S3 is equal to 0, or it can be t cube minus 12t square plus 47t minus 60 is equal to 0. We have substituted the values here. Now, by trying a value which is t is equal to 3, then t is equal to 3 will satisfy this equation. So it becomes t minus 3 into t square minus 9t plus 20 is equal to 4, or it can be t minus 3 into t minus 4 into t minus 5 is equal to 0. Therefore, we can say that t will be equal to 3, 4 and 5. Hence, the solution sets as above will be 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 5, 5, 3, 4, or it can be 3, 5, 4, 4, 5, 3, or 5, 4, 3. So here you can see that the total number of solutions are 6. Therefore, we can say that the total number of solution for this given equations is 6. So option number A is the correct option for this question. Next question is the value of 34C5 plus summation of I is equal to 0 to 4 into 38 minus I C4 is. It is a question that comes from binomial expansion. So further it can be written as 34C5 plus 38C4 plus 35C4 plus, see here there will be 37 because 38 minus 1 is 37. Again 36C4 plus 35C4 plus 34C4 plus 34C5 plus 34C4. See, it can be also written as in the next step because we have to combine the same variables. Here there is 34C5 plus 38C4 plus 37C4 plus 36C4 plus 35C4 plus 34C4. So here it can be 34C5 plus 34C4 plus 35C4 plus 36C4 plus 37C4 plus 38C4. Now, this term can be written as 35C5 plus 35C4 plus 36C4 plus 37C4 plus 38C4. We know that there is a property which is NCR plus NCR minus 1 is equal to N plus 1 CR. So it becomes 36C5 plus 36C4 plus 37C9. See, it is 4. It is not 9, it is 4. Plus 38C4. I hope up to here it is clear to you. So again it becomes 38C5 plus 38C4, which will be equals to 39C5. Therefore, we can say that 34C4 plus summation of I is equal to 0 to 4, 38 minus I into C4 will be equal to 39C5. Hence, the correct option here is 39C5, which is option number B here. I hope this question is clear to you. Next question is a very different question. Number of 4-digit number that can be formed using all the digits except 0 such that every number has exactly 2 distinct digits in it is. See here we have to remove 0 or we do not have to include the 0. So except 0 we have to find the number of 4-digit numbers that can be formed that every number has 2 distinct digits in it. So firstly it will be a even number, and out of all these options the correct option will be 504 because first let us calculate the table for 504. 504 into 1 is 504. 504 into 2 is 1008. 504 into 3 is 1512. 504 into 4 is 2016. 504 into 5 is 2520. Similarly, into 6, it will be 3024. Again, it will be 3528, 4032, 4536, and 5040. We know that the multiplication table of 504 is nothing more than the repetitive addition of the number. But 504 is an even number that is divisible by 2. Since in the question we have to find exactly 2 distinct digits, therefore the number must be even number that should be divisible by 2. And you have to observe the pattern in the table of 504. The last 2 digits are the multiples of the table 4, and the first 2 digits are the multiples of the table 5. Therefore, we can say that the correct option here is option number D, which is 504. Next question is, how many words with or without meaning each of 2 vowels and 3 consonants can be formed from the letters of the word daughter? See here, the word is daughter. D-A-U-G-H-T-E-R. In this word, the total number of letters are 8. Out of this, total vowels will be equal to 3 and total consonants are 5. Now we have to make a word using this 5 letters from the given word. Here we have to choose 2 out of 3 vowels and 3 out of 5 consonants, which can be further arranged in 5 factorial ways. So when choosing 2 out of 3 vowels and 3 out of 5 consonant, it will be 3C2 into 5C3, and from total possible 5 factorial ways, so it will be into 5 factorial. On further calculating it, it will be 3 factorial upon 2 factorial into 3 minus 2 factorial into 5 factorial upon 3 factorial into 5 minus 3 factorial into 5 factorial. So it will be 3 factorial upon 2 factorial into 5 factorial upon 3 factorial into 2 factorial into 5 factorial, which will be 3 into 2 factorial divided by 2 factorial into 5 into 4 into 3 factorial divided by 3 factorial into 2 factorial again into 5 factorial. So 2 factorial and 2 factorial will be cancelled. Here 3 factorial and 3 factorial will be cancelled. So it will be 3 into 5 into 4 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 divided by 2 into 1. So this 2 and this 4 will be cancelled. So the remaining terms will be 3 into 5 into 2 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2. So it will be equals to 15 into 10 into 12 into 2, which gives 150 into 24. On further calculation, it is equal to 3600. Therefore, we can say that the correct option for this question is option number D, which is 3600. Next question is a very interesting question, and it is a very, very simple question. And this kind of question always comes in the exam. The number of ways of distributing 500 dissimilar boxes equally among 50 persons is. It is given that 500 boxes are equally distributed among 50 persons. So each person will get 500 upon 50, which is 10 boxes. Now, the 10 things can be distributed among 50 people in such a way that the first person will get 10 boxes from the remaining 490 boxes. In 490C, 10 ways, and before it, it will be 500C, 10. The next person will get 10 box less, or from the remaining 490 boxes, he will get 10 boxes. Again, the third person will get 10 boxes from the remaining 480 boxes. So it will be 480C 10 ways. Similarly, fourth person will get 10 boxes from the remaining 470 boxes. So it will be 470C 10. Like this, it will go up to 10C 10 when the last person will get the 10 boxes. So you can see that it forms a repeated series. So it will be 500C10 into 490C10 into 480C10 into so on up to 10C10. This is the total number of ways. So we can write it as 500 factorial upon 10 factorial power 50. These are the total possible number of ways here. Therefore, we can say that the correct option is 500 factorial divided by 10 factorial power 50, which is option number D here. I hope this question is clear to you. This kind of questions always comes in the exam and it is a very, very important question. Next question is, if we resolve the rational fraction 1 upon 1 minus 2x square into 1 minus 3x into a partial fraction of the form a upon 1 minus 3x plus b upon 1 minus 2x plus c upon 1 minus 2x whole square, then what is the minimum value from a, b and c? So first let us see this part, which is 1 upon 1 minus 2x whole square into 1 minus 3x. It can be written as 3 into 1 minus 2x minus 2 into 1 minus 3x divided by 1 minus 2x whole square into 1 minus 3x, which will be equals to 3 into 1 minus 2x divided by 1 minus 2x whole square into 1 minus 3x minus 2 into 1 minus 3x divided by 1 minus 2x whole square into 1 minus 3x. On further solving it, this will be equals to 3 upon 1 minus 2x into 1 minus 3x, because here there is a square. So this one term will be cancelled, minus 2 into again 1 minus 3x and 1 minus 3x will be cancelled. So it will be divided by 1 minus 2x whole square. Now it can be also written as 3 into 1 upon 1 minus 2x into 1 minus 3x minus 2 into 1 upon 1 minus 2x whole square, which will be equals to 3 into 1 minus 2x minus 2 into 1 minus 3x divided by 1 minus 2x into 1 minus 3x minus 2 upon 1 minus 2x whole square. So it will be equals to 3 into 3 upon 1 minus 3x minus 2 upon 1 minus 2x minus 2 upon 1 minus 2x whole square, which will be equals to 9 upon 1 minus 3x minus 6 upon 1 minus 2x minus 2 upon 1 minus 2x whole square. Therefore, we can say that 1 upon 1 minus 2x whole square into 1 minus 3x is equal to 9 upon 1 minus 3x plus minus of 6 upon 1 minus 2x plus minus of 2 upon 1 minus 2x whole square. In the question, a form is given which is a upon 1 minus 3x plus b upon 1 minus 2x plus c upon 1 minus 2x whole square. So comparing both this, we get a is equal to 9, b is equal to minus 6 and c is equal to minus 2. We have to find the minimum value from a, b and c. So the minimum value here is minus 6. Therefore, we can say that the minimum of a, b and c is minus 6, which is option number D here. Next question is a very, very simple question. Let a and b be non-negative real numbers if sin x plus a cos x is equal to b, then modulus of a sin x minus cos x is equal to. This question only requires a very basic concept. If you remember it, you can easily solve and get the answer for this question. We know that if sin x plus a cos x is equal to b and a and b are non-negative real numbers, then modulus of its opposite, which is a sin x minus cos x, will be equals to under root of a square minus b square plus 1, which is a very basic concept. Therefore, we can say that the correct option will be under root of a square minus b square plus 1, which is option number A here. Next question is also from trigonometry. And the question is under root of sine power 4x plus 4 cos square x minus under root of cos power 4x plus 4 sine square x is equal to. So let this be equal to f of theta. Now this can be written as under root of 2 minus sine square theta whole square minus under root of 2 minus cos square theta whole square, which will be equal to 2 minus sine square theta minus 2 plus cos square theta. On squaring this term, we get 2 minus sine square theta minus 2 plus cos square theta, which will be equals to cos square theta minus sine square theta. And we know that cos square theta minus sine square theta will be cos 2 theta. Now here the options are in the form of x. It means that here theta will be equals to x. So it becomes cos 2x. Therefore, we can say that the correct option here is option number D, which says cos of 2x. I hope this question is clear to you. Next question is also a very simple question. We have to find the value for sine 20 to 1 by 2 degree. We know that cos 45 degree is equal to 1 upon root 2. We also know that 2 sine square a minus 1 will be equal to minus cos of 2a. Therefore, 2 sine square a will be equal to 1 minus cos 2a. So, 2 sine square 45 by 2 degree will be equal to 1 minus cos 45 degree. So 2 sine square 45 by 2 degree will be 1 minus 1 upon root 2, which gives 2 sine square 45 by 2 degree is equal to root 2 minus 1 upon root 2, and sine square 45 by 2 degree will be equal to 1 by 2 minus root 2 by 4. So, sine of 45 by 2 degree will be equal to under root of 1 by 2 minus root 2 by 4, which is equals to under root of 2 minus root 2 upon 4. Therefore, we can say that the value for sine 20 to 1 by 2 degree is under root of 2 minus root 2 upon 4. So we can say that the correct option here is option number C, which is under root of 2 minus root 2 upon 4. Next question is the value of cos power 4x is. Here we have to find the value of this trigonometric term, which is cos power 4x. We know that cos square x is equal to 1 plus cos 2x divided by 2. So cos square 2x will be equals to 1 plus cos 4x divided by 2. Now let us take the integral of this term. So integral of cos power 4x dx, it can be written as integral of cos square x square dx. Now further, it will be integral of 1 plus cos 2x by 2 whole square dx, which will be equals to 1 by 4 integral of 1 plus 2 cos 2x plus 1 into cos square 2x dx. We know the value for cos square 2x. So substituting it, it will be 1 by 4 into integral of 1 plus 2 cos 2x plus 1 plus cos 4x divided by 2 and dx. Now, this will be equals to 1 by 8 integral of 3 plus 4 cos 2x plus cos 4x dx. And further solving this term, it will be equals to 3 by 8 plus 1 by 2 cos 2x plus 1 by 8 cos 4x. See, this is the integral part and we do not need to solve it further. We just have to find the value for cos power 4x. So we can say that cos power 4x is equal to 3 by 8 plus 1 by 2 cos 2x plus 1 by 8 cos 4x. Therefore, the correct option is option number A here. Next question is, let x, y and z be real numbers and x is greater than equal to y is greater than equal to z is greater than equal to pi by 12. If x plus y plus z is equal to pi by 2, then the minimum value of cos x into sin y into cos z is. We have to find the minimum value of this term. So let t is equal to cos x into sin y into cos z. Now, it can be written as p is equal to cos z by 2 into 2 cos x into sin y. We have multiplied and divided by 2. So it becomes cos z upon 2 into sin x plus y minus sin x minus y. Therefore, it will be p is less than equals to cos z upon 2 into sin x plus y. And we know that x plus y plus z is equal to pi by 2. So it becomes p is less than or equals to cos z upon 2 into cos z. So it can be p is less than equals to cos square z upon 2 and it lies between 1 by 4 and p. And also 1 plus cos 2z will be multiplied here. So it becomes cos square z by 2 lies between p and 1 by 4 into 1 plus cos 2z. On further solving, this will become p is less than or equals to 1 by 4 into 1 plus cos 2 into pi by 12. So this will be 6, which becomes pi by 6. because it is already given in the question that the value is pi by 12. So P will be less than equals to 1 by 4 into 1 plus cos pi by 6. So we can say that P will be less than equals to 1 by 4 into 1 plus root 3 upon 2. So P will be less than or equals to 2 plus root 3 upon 8. From here, the minimum value for P, which is cos x into sin y into cos z, will be 1 by 8. So we can say that the minimum value is 1 by 8. Therefore, option number D is the correct option for this question. Next question is, for any real number n belongs to R, cos hx plus sin hx whole power n is equal to. See, this is a very interesting question and it is a very, very important question. We know that we can apply the standard formula for hyperbolic function here for solving the LHS part. So we know that cos hx is equal to e to the power x plus e to the power minus x upon 2, and sin hx is equal to e to the power x minus e to the power minus x upon 2. Therefore, cos hx plus sin hx whole power n will be equals to e to the power x plus e to the power minus x divided by 2 plus e to the power x minus e to the power minus x divided by 2 and whole power n. So we can say that cos hx plus sin hx whole power n will be equals to e to the power x plus e to the power x divided by 2, because both these terms will be cancelled, plus e to the power minus x and minus e to the power minus x whole power n, which will be equal to 2 e to the power x divided by 2 whole power n, which will be equals to e to the power x whole power n, or we can also write it as e to the power nx. Now, again applying the standard formula for hyperbolic function for solving this part, which is RHS, it will be cos h nx is equal to e to the power nx plus e to the power minus nx divided by 2, and sin h nx will be equal to e to the power nx minus e to the power minus nx upon 2. So therefore, e to the power nx plus e to the power minus nx divided by 2 plus e to the power nx minus e to the power minus nx divided by 2 will be equals to cos h nx plus sin h nx. So we can say that its value is equal to cos h nx plus sin h nx. Therefore, we can say that it is the required answer, and the correct option here is option number B. I hope this question is clear to you. Next question is, in a triangle ABC, if A is equal to 7, B is equal to 6 and A is equal to 120 degree, then the approximate value of B is. So this is a very different question. We know that area of this triangle will be equal to 1 by 2 into AB into sin C. On applying the values, it will be 1 by 2 into 7 into 6 sin C. This will be cancelled. So it becomes 21 sin C. Therefore, the value of C here will be 27.5, and hence the approximate value of B will be 47.9. So we can say that if A is 120 degree and the value of C is 27.5, then the approximate value of B will be 47.9 degree. Therefore, correct option here is option number A. Next question is also a very, very interesting question. In a triangle ABC, A into B cos C minus C cos B is equal to. So we have to calculate the value for A into B cos C minus C cos B. On further multiplying inside the bracket, it becomes AB cos C minus AC cos B. We know that cos C is equal to A square plus B square minus C square divided by 2AB. We also know that cos B is equal to A square plus C square minus B square divided by 2AC. On applying this, it becomes AB into A square plus B square minus C square divided by 2AB minus AC into A square plus C square minus B square divided by 2AC. Here, AB and AB will be cancelled and AC and AC will be cancelled. So it will be equals to A square plus B square minus C square divided by 2 minus of A square plus C square minus B square divided by 2. The denominator is same here. So it will be A square plus B square minus C square minus A square minus C square plus B square whole divided by 2. You can see that here A square and minus A square will be cancelled and the remaining terms will be 2B square minus 2C square divided by 2. Taking 2 common, it will be B square minus C square divided by 2. 2 and 2 will be cancelled. So it will be equals to B square minus C square. Therefore, we can say that the value of this particular expression is B square minus C square, which is option number C here. I hope this question is clear to you. All these questions are very, very simple. Next question is the length of the sides of a triangle are 13, 14 and 15. Let capital R and small r respectively denote the circumradius and in radius of this triangle. Then 8r minus r is equal to. See, this is a very important question and this type of question always comes in exam. Last, it came back in 2018. Now, let A, B and C be lengths of sides of triangle. It is given that A is equal to 13, B is equal to 14 and C is equal to 15. So, semi-perimeter which is denoted by S will be equals to A plus B plus C upon 2. Here S is the semi-perimeter. So it will be 13 plus 14 plus 15 divided by 2, which will be equals to 21. Therefore, area of triangle will be equals to under root of S into S minus A into S minus B into S minus C. So on putting the values, it will be under root of 21 into 21 minus 13, 21 minus 14 and 21 minus 15. So it will be equals to under root of 21 into 8 into 7 into 6. So it will be equals to 84. This is area. It is denoted by delta. If delta is equal to 84, then we know that radius is given by delta upon S. So it will be 84 upon 21, which is equal to 4. Therefore, capital R will be equals to ABC divided by 4 into area. So it will be 13 into 14 into 15 divided by 84. So it will be equals to 65 upon 2. Now we have the value for small r and capital R, which is the circumradius and in radius of this circle. And we have to calculate the value for 8r minus r. So 8r minus r will be given as 2 into 65 upon 2 minus 4. 2 and 2 will be cancelled. So it will be 65 minus 4, which is equals to 61. So we can say that the value for this question is 61. Hence, option number C is the correct option for this question. Next question is, if A vector is equal to P minus 2 and 5 and B vector is equal to 1, Q and minus 3 are collinear vectors, then we have to find the value for P and Q here. So let the ratio of AB is to BC is to CA is equal to 3:4:5. It is given that A vector is P minus 2 and 5 and B vector is 1, Q and minus 3. So the points will be A 1, 2, 3, B 3, 4, 5 and C P, Q and 7. And it is given that they are collinear. Now we have to find the value for P and Q. So we can find A vector from here. A vector will be I cap plus 2j cap plus 3k cap. Similarly, B vector will be 3i cap plus 4j cap plus 5k cap, and C vector will be pi cap plus qj cap plus 7k cap. Now AB vector will be equals to B vector minus A vector. So it will be 3 minus 1 I cap plus 4 minus 2 j cap plus 5 minus 3 k cap. So it becomes 2i cap plus 2j cap plus 2k cap. Now this is the value for AB vector. Similarly, AC vector will be equals to C vector minus A vector. So it will be equals to P minus 1 I cap plus Q minus 2 J cap plus 4K cap. We know that AB vector is equals to lambda into AC vector. So putting the values here, we get 2I cap plus 2J cap plus 2K cap is equals to lambda into P minus 1 I cap plus Q minus 2 J cap plus 4K cap. Now, coefficient of K will be, see, when we compare the coefficient of K here, we get 2 is equal to 4 lambda. So lambda will be equals to 1 by 2. Now comparing the coefficient of J cap, we get 2 is equal to Q minus 2. So from here we can say that Q will be equals to 4. And see, here there is lambda also, so it will be Q minus 2 into lambda. And lambda is again 1 by 2. So the value of Q will be equals to 2 by 1 by 2, which is equal to 2 into 2. And Q will be equals to 4 plus 2, which is equals to 6. Now, this is the part which is only consisting of a number. Comparing the coefficient of I cap, we get P is equal to minus 5 upon 3. And again comparing the coefficients of J cap, we get Q is equal to 6 upon 5. Since they are the collinear vectors, so the value for P will be minus 5 upon 3 and Q will be 6 upon 5. Therefore, we can say that the correct option here is option number D. Next question is, if origin is the orthocenter of an equilateral triangle whose vertices are A vector, B vector and C vector, then. So it is given that A vector, B vector and C vector are the position vectors of vertices of an equilateral triangle then the centroid of this triangle will be equals to A vector plus B vector plus C vector upon 3. Since the triangle is an equilateral triangle, therefore the orthocenter coincides with the centroid and hence A vector plus B vector plus C vector upon 3 will be equals to 0. So it implies that A vector plus B vector plus C vector will be equals to 0. Therefore, it can be also written as A vector plus B vector is equal to minus of C vector. So this is the required statement which is correct for this question. Hence, we can say that the correct option here is option number B, which is A vector plus B vector is equal to minus of C vector. Next question is, let A vector is equal to 2i plus 3j plus k and B vector is equal to 4i plus j and C vector is equal to I minus 3j minus 7k. If R vector is equal to xi plus yj plus zk and R vector dot A vector is equal to 9, R vector dot B vector is equal to 7 and R vector dot C vector is equal to 6, then x, y and z are. According to the given question, 2x plus 3y plus z is equal to 9, 4x plus y is equal to 7 and x minus 3y minus 7z is equal to 6. We have three equations. Using these three equations, we have to find the value for x, y and z. So, by multiplying the first equation with 7, it becomes 14x plus 21y plus 7z is equal to 63 and the third equation is x minus 3y minus 7z is equal to 6. So it will become, this will be 69 and this will be equals to 15x plus 18y and 7z and 7z will be cancelled. So taking 3 common, it can be 5x plus 6y is equal to 23. Now we have 5x plus 6y is equal to 23 as an equation. And we have a second equation which is 4x plus y is equal to 7. On multiplying 6 in this equation, which is 4x plus y is equal to 7, we get 4x into 6 is 24x plus 6y is equal to 7 into 6 is 42. So again, on subtracting this, it will be equal to the 6y and 6y will be cancelled. Minus 19x is equal to minus 19. So x will be equal to plus 1. We have the value of x now. So we can put it in any equation. So putting x is equal to 1 in equation 2, which is 4 into 1 is equal to minus y plus 7. So it can be 4 plus y is equal to 7. So y will be equal to 7 minus 4, which is equal to 3. We have the value for x and y. So the value for x is 1 and the value for y is 3. We have to calculate the value for z. We have an equation which is 2x plus 3y plus z is equal to 9. So putting the value of x and y here, it will be 2 plus 9 plus z is equal to 9. So z will be equals to minus of 2. Therefore, we can say that z is equal to minus 2. So the points x, y and z are 1, 3 and minus 2. Therefore, we can say that the correct option here is option number D, which is 1, 3 and minus 2. Next question is, if ABCD is a cyclic quadrilateral with R as the radius of the circle and AB square plus CD square is equal to 4R square, then see, it is a very simple question. There is a very basic concept that if ABCD is a cyclic quadrilateral and AB square plus CD square is equal to 4R square, then AB will be equals to A vector into B vector and CD will be equals to C vector into D vector. Therefore, we can write it as A vector into B vector plus C vector into D vector will be equals to 0. Therefore, we can say that the correct option here is option number C. Next question is, if modulus of A is equal to 13, modulus of B is equal to 5 and A vector dot B vector is equal to 60, then modulus of A vector cross B vector is equal to. We know that A vector dot B vector is equal to modulus of A vector into modulus of B vector into cos theta. So this is 60 is equal to 13 into 5 into cos theta. So from here, cos theta will be equals to 60 upon 13 into 5. On further cancelling it, it will be 12 upon 13. This is the value of cos theta. We know that sin square theta is equal to 1 minus cos square theta. So putting the values, sin square theta will be equal to 1 minus 144 upon 169, which will be equals to 169 minus 144 upon 169, which gives 25 upon 169. So sin theta will be equals to under root of 25 upon 169, which gives 5 upon 13. So sin theta is equal to 5 upon 13. Now we have to calculate modulus of A vector cross B vector. So this will be equals to modulus of A into modulus of B vector into sin theta. Now again putting the values, this will be 13 into 5 into 5 upon 13. 13 and 13 will be cancelled. 5 into 5 is 25. So we can say that the value of modulus of A vector cross B vector is 25. Hence, option number D is the correct option for this question. Next question is a very interesting question. If the total number of observations is 20, summation of xi is equal to 1000 and summation of xi square is equal to 84,000, then the variance of the distribution is. See here, the values are given, which is n is equal to 20. Therefore, n square will be equal to 20 square, which is equal to 400. Also, summation of xi is given, which is 1000, and summation of xi square is given, which is 84,000. we have to calculate the variance of this distribution. So variance is given by sigma square, and it is equal to summation of xi square divided by n minus summation of xi whole square divided by n square. On substituting the values, it will be 84,000 divided by 20 minus 1000 into 1000 divided by 400. So this 0 and 0 will be cancelled. Again, this 0 and 0 will be cancelled. So it will be 2500 and this will be 4200. So it will be 4200 minus 2500, which is equal to 1700. So we can say that the variance for this distribution is 1700, which is option number C here. Next question is, a bag contains 2 red, 3 green and 2 blue balls. 2 balls are drawn at random, then the probability that none of the balls drawn is. We know that total number of chances to draw 2 balls at random from 7 balls will be n of s is equal to 7c2, which is 7 factorial upon 2 factorial into 7 minus 2, which is 5 factorial. So it will be 7 into 6 into 5 factorial divided by 2 factorial into 5 factorial. 5 factorial and 5 factorial will be cancelled. So it becomes 7 into 6 upon 2. Therefore, it will be 7 into 3, which is 21. Now, let E be the event to draw 2 balls other than blue. Therefore, the number of chances to draw 2 balls other than blue will be n of E, which will be 2c2 plus 3c2 plus 2c1 into 3c1, which will be 2 factorial upon 2 factorial plus 3 factorial upon 1 factorial into 2 factorial plus 2 factorial upon 1 factorial into 1 factorial into 3 factorial upon 1 factorial into 2 factorial. So it will be 1 plus 3 plus 6, which is equal to 10. Now we have n of s and n of e. Therefore, the required probability will be P of E is equals to n of E divided by n of S. It is the probability that none of the balls drawn is blue. So it will be 10 upon 21. Hence, we can say that the correct option here is 10 upon 21, which is option number A here. Next question is, 2 persons P and Q are considering to apply for a job. The probability that P applies for the job is 1 by 4. The probability that P applies for the job given that Q applies for the job is 1 by 2. And the probability that Q applies for the job given that P applies for the job is 1 by 3. Then the probability that P does not apply for the job given that Q does not apply for the job is. According to the question, the given values are probability of P applying the job, which is P of P is 1 by 4. Probability of P by Q is equal to 1 by 2. And probability of Q by P is equal to 1 by 3. We know that by conditional probability, P of P by Q is equal to P of P intersection Q divided by P of Q. We also know that P of Q by P will be equal to P of P intersection Q divided by P of P, which will be equal to 1 by 3. So it will be equal to P of P intersection Q is equal to 1 by 12. Therefore, probability of P by Q will be equal to P of P intersection Q divided by P of Q, which is equal to 1 by 2. So from here we can get the value of P of Q. P of Q will be equal to 1 by 12 into 2, which is equal to 1 by 6. So we can say that P of Q is equal to 1 by 6. Therefore, P of P complement by Q complement. We have to calculate the probability that P does not apply for the job and Q does not apply for the job. So it will be equal to P of P complement intersection Q complement divided by P of Q complement, which will be equals to 1 minus P of P union Q divided by 1 minus 1 by 6. So it will be equal to 1 minus P of P plus P of Q minus P of P intersection Q divided by 1 minus 1 by 6. 1 minus 1 by 6 is 5 by 6. So it becomes 1 minus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 6 minus 1 by 12 divided by 5 by 6. On further calculation, it will be equal to 4 by 5. Therefore, we can say that the probability that neither P nor Q applies for the job is 4 by 5, which is option number A here. Next question is, if E and F are the events such that P of F bar is equals to 0.7 and P of E intersection F is equal to 0.2, then P of E by F is. See, if P of F bar is 0.7, then P of F will be equal to 1 minus 0.7. So P of F will be equals to 0.3. We have to find the value for P of E by F, which is the conditional probability. So by using the conditional probability, P of E by F is equal to P of E intersection F upon P of F, which will be equals to 0.2 upon 0.3, which will be equals to 2 by 3. Therefore, we can say that the correct option here is option number A, which is 2 by 3. Next question is also from the probability, and the question is, a bag contains 21 toys numbered 1 to 21. A toy is drawn and then another toy is drawn without replacement. The probability that both toys will show even numbers is. See, we know that even numbers from 1 to 21 are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 and 20, which is total there are 10 numbers which are even between 1 to 21. Now, let A be the event of getting an even number on first draw and B be the event of getting an even number on second draw. Therefore, P of A will be 10C1 upon 21C1, which is equal to 10 upon 21. And P of B by A will be 9C1 upon 20C1, which is equal to 9 upon 20. Now we have the values for P of A and P of B by A. And we have to find the required probability, which is P of A intersection B. See, we have to find that the probability that both the toys will show the even numbers is. So it will be P of A intersection B, which is equal to P of A into P of B by A. So using conditional probability here, P of A intersection B will be equals to P of A is 10 upon 21 into P of B upon A is 9 upon 20. So it will be equals to 9 upon 42. Again, this can be cancelled by 3. So it becomes 3 upon 14. So we can say that the required probability here is 3 by 14. Hence, option number B is the correct option for this question. Next question is a multiple choice test consists of 5 questions, each question having 4 responses. There is only one correct response and the remaining 3 are incorrect responses. If a candidate attempts all the 5 questions, then the probability that he answers at least 3 questions incorrectly is. We know that we have 4 responses and only one is correct. Therefore, the probability of getting a correct answer will be equal to 1 by 4, because out of 4 responses, only one response is correct. So, probability of getting incorrect answer will be equals to 1 minus 1 by 4, which is equal to 3 by 4. Now, probability of getting 3 incorrect answers will be equals to probability of getting 3 incorrect plus probability of getting 5 incorrect. So it will be 5C3 into 1 by 4 power 3 into 3 by 4 power 5 minus 3. So it will be equals to 5C3 into 1 by 4 power 3 into 3 by 4 power 2. Therefore, this is the value of probability of getting 3 incorrect. Now, the probability of getting all the 5 responses incorrect is 3 by 4 power 5. Now, adding both this value, it will be 5C3 into 1 by 4 power 3 into 3 by 4 power 2 plus 3 by 4 power 5. On further solving this, the value will be 459 upon 512. Therefore, we can say that the probability that he or she will give 3 answers incorrectly is 459 upon 512. So option number B is the correct option here. I hope all these questions are clear to you and all the basic concepts regarding each and every question is also clear to you. Keep learning more and keep scoring high.